the part everyone hates, the cabling. I hate it, especially because, again, I don't have a fully modular power supply, but this is going to let you see just how well they built everything in this case. Grommets, their placements, right up here, and then again right up down here and right here. Now, one thing I will mention, and it is so amazing, and I'll bring you in very close so you could see it. All right, so right here is that very first hole that you saw towards the side of the case. Towards the inside, you can see over here the PCI slot covers. All right, and then we can see right over here the grommet. These guys did an amazing job with it. They give you about almost 2 inches of clearance here, 1 inch up here, so you can, you know, have some cables back here and not get in the way. But, and just so you can see how thick that is right here, you have a lot of clearance there. And then throughout here, along with the grommets. But coming back over here, so first off, remember I was saying that because of this power supply, and even if you had a fully modular power supply, you couldn't get in there to remove things? I was completely wrong. I can fit my entire hand here. So I've taken out 2 of the PCIe cables I had, and then one of a Molex cable. Those of you that may not know what Molex is, because it is old, is this guy right here. You don't use them anymore. They're for padded devices. They give you plenty of clearance right here to put things through. Other cases I've reviewed have this little hole here, but the minute you put the power supply here, you have 1/4 of an inch, so you can't even fit, you know, a PCI head in there. But with this, you can. See, I'm fitting it right in there. No issues whatsoever, and of course right up here as well. So anyway, sorry, I kind of had to take you off the tripod there because it's awesome. So let's get back on the tripod real quick. So first, we're going to grab the one that is the worst cable out of them all, the 24-pin Molex. Now, because the 24-pin is right up here, and let me just show you real quick. I'm going to jam all the cables right over here so they don't snag on anything as I'm spinning the case around. So the 24-pin, the ATX connection is right here. You can see that right there. It's right over here. So now, turning the case around, here's where that grommet is. So now I'm just going to move all the cables back over here. And now I'm just going to pop this guy right through here. And since I know the CPU 8-pin is going to be right up here, I'm going to go ahead and put that up there right now. 2x4. So I'm just going to put that up right up here. All right, and just put all these cables aside for right now. Okay, we can see the 24-pin right up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and connect that real quick. That is what gives power to the motherboard. All right, simple enough connection. See that right there? Not the prettiest, but again, I should hopefully have a new power supply soon. And then we have right up here the CPU power. So it's a little out of the way. So give me a sec while I plug that in. All right, so you can see that right there. The 8-pin power connection is plugged in. And let's go around to the back of the case again. Alright, so now when all that's said and done with, we're probably going to go ahead and put it here. I don't know just yet because again, she's not fully built, but so let's go ahead and take care of the SATA drives real quick since they're right here. And I'll probably end up putting this guy just like that since again they've put plenty of space back here. So thankfully, because of the way that they've done the SATA here, which I've not been able to do in any other of the computers I've built with other cases. So I can plug this guy in, SATA connection, SATA power connection, sorry, right in there. Okay, and then usually I'm stuck. I can't use this connection. I have to use this one because the drives are kind of far apart. But in this particular case, everything is just right there. So it's plugged in. Mind you, it's tight, but it's plugged in. So they've even put the SATA drive placement perfectly. They've done a great job so far with this case. And actually, you know what? I am going to go ahead and use that third one because it is tight and I feel like it keeps moving out of the way. But still, you know, you could. And then that'll give me perfect for this SATA connection right here for the fan controller that they have built in. Another great feature. So with this guy, with that fan controller, it is a PWM fan controller. So I can just go ahead and this fan cable, or this fan I should say, I'm going to go ahead and undo the zip tie cable real quick. The wire. Okay, and now I can just fit it back there through the grommet. Okay, and now just connect it right back here. Now I do have to make a correction on these. These three are PWM controlled. These are 3-pin fan headers, so these are not PWM controlled, but either way, pretty awesome that everything right through here. And again, all we need, whoops, shouldn't have pulled that hard, but that's okay. I'll fix that in a second. All we need to do is, first off, connect the SATA power, and we could do that with this third one that we had here. All right, connected. And then we'll connect the PWM to one of the fan headers here. Okay, and then this we can always, and this video is not going to show you guys how to make it look nice and pretty. It's just how to connect everything. Okay, and now that we have this guy connected, these two drives connected, the CPU power, well, we'll have the PWM in a second. We have the 24-pin Molex connected. Now we'll go ahead and connect these two SSDs down here. And again, because they did a great job with the way they managed it, especially on this one, I am able to just plug it in. And I don't need any spacing in between. It's just all connected. And then we have these two fans right up here, the two front fans, 140 millimeter fans. we'll just connect, you know what, and we can connect it right up here. The Arctic fan that I have in there right now, the CPU fan, has its own PWM, so we could connect it to here if we wanted to, but I'll just go ahead and leave that on the motherboard. And then connect this guy right up here. And this guy right here. Okay, so now all those are connected, and again I'll play with the cabling in a little bit. And then now we have to connect the video card. While it won't be pretty, again I'm just doing it to show you guys. And then what I'll end up doing at the very end is showing you guys if it all prettied up a little bit. So because we have an option, we can either slide it through here or we can slide it through these guys down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide it through the bottom for now. Now on this power supply I have to use 2 cables. So here is one. All right, so now the video card is plugged in. Looks horrible right now, but I'll take care of that in 1 second. Now what I want to focus on real quick is the front panel header. So I'm going to take the video card out real quick and then show you guys how to connect those front panel headers. I'll be right back. All right, so in order for any of the front panel things like power button, reset, microphone, headphone, activity lights and all that stuff, for all that to work, you need to connect all these cables to the motherboard. So on the motherboard itself, the front panel HD audio is back here, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide this cable. Let me just make it look nice, or relatively nice. I'm going to go ahead and slide this cable towards the back. And then I'm going to pass it through that little hole that they've made for me right there. Okay. And then the USB 3 is right up here, right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that through these grommets here. Pass that through there. Okay, and let's see where USB is. USB 2.0 is right down here, and then here is the power button and reset and HD activity LED. So, and again, that part's going to be different on every motherboard, so it may not be there for you. Just check out your motherboard manual to be certain. Okay, and also the USB 2. All right. See right up here, these are the little front panel header. Okay, so the green is the power LED. So let's find that one. Switch and power LED. Okay, and positive is all the way in the bottom right hand corner, and negative is right next to that, to the left. So that is the power button. or power switch. HDD LED. Aside from the manual, just in case, aside from the manual, silk screened on the board is what each of those little connections are, just to make it easier for you. Okay, and then the SATA 3 connection, while there is one down here and there is one right over here, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up here. The reason being is I have another USB 3 extension cable, not included with the board, but you can never have enough USB 3 connections, that I'm going to link up right down here and connect right over here. So I'm going to connect this USB 3 connection right here. So seems like the head is a little too long right back here. So rather than go through the grommet, I had to come around the side of the case. You can see that right here, but that's okay. And then coming around back around the front, we have the USB 2.0 header, which is going to connect right down here. And the HD audio, which is right over here. All right, and now a simple one that I'm not going to spend too much time on, though I am going to show you how to do that, is the SATA connection, the SATA cable. Now remember, since we've put an SSD here, or a PCIe M.2 SSD here, we're disabling some of these SATA ports in the BIOS. So for up here, you're disabling, if you were using this one, you're disabling SATA 0 and SATA 1. For this one, it's going to be SATA 4 and SATA 5. So now we have to see here, which is SATA 4 and 5. So SATA 4 and 5 is going to be this one down here. This is 0 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and connect a SATA connection right in here. And again, this is just for an example right now. Okay, so connected that one. Now I'm going to slide it through the rubber grommet over here. Okay, and we can see that right over here. Came through. And now I can just come around and connect it like that. So we've gone through the entire step, or all of the steps, of building a computer. The cabling is not pretty just yet. I'm just showing you the basics. So now I'm going to work on the cabling real quick and come back to you guys when it's all done. Again, we've gone through everything. Everything has been fully built, been put together, and connected. Now I'm just going to go back and make it look pretty. So be right back. Here she is, fully built and fully cabled. Not the happiest with this back there, the 2 PCA cables and the ATX 24 pin, as well as the 8-pin power. But all in all, she still looks beautiful. And as I mentioned, this was not included in the package, but since I had it, I wanted to put in there 2 additional USB 3.0 ports, since it does have 2 USB 3.0 headers. You can see along the back. And then along the back side of the case. All right, now I could have done a little bit more. It would have taken me a few more, probably at least another hour to do it. I could have flipped this front fan a little bit, 90 degrees, so that the cable coming out of here would have been up here. That way I can cable it a little bit better. Instead of reaching here, would have reached around here. But that's okay. You can see here the two SSDs here, the two SSDs back here, the power supply, and that ATX 24 pin cable. And then, well, all the cables are connected. Everything is connected. I haven't powered it on yet, but it should work. I didn't do anything along the front. I could have added a 5 1/4 drive, but then people would have gone crazy. Now, one thing, just in case you didn't know, if you wanted to, as I mentioned before, you could put liquid cooling up in the front. It comes with 240 millimeters up in the front fans. And then this filter easily comes out and can be washed. And again, if you don't like the door opening this way, you could flip this around so that it opens this way. And that's about it for now. Again, showing you the Fractal Design Define R6 TG case, tempered glass, black. Then also in here, the EVGA Z340 FTW motherboard. Then also in here, the EVGA Z370 FTW motherboard, as well as the Arctic freezer, 32 gigs of RAM, the EVGA GeForce GTX 1080 Ti ICX 11 gigabyte gaming card, Kingston A1000 NVMe drive, 4 SSDs, power supply, and a complete system. Alright, so you are going to be seeing more from me, so stay tuned. And that's about it for now. Iggy out. See you guys.